This is Jim Williams with the Hurricane City Tropical Update for July 8th, 9:30 a.m. Here's a live cam shot from Fort-de-France, Martinique. This is located on the west coast of the island of Martinique, which is the current feature at Hurricane City. We have Tropical Storm Chantal racing towards this island at this hour and should be arriving there tomorrow morning. And if you look at this live cam shot, this is on the west coast, so the winds would be coming from the bottom of your screen towards the mountain there that is in the background, and that's facing towards the Caribbean Sea. So assuming that this is facing due west, the winds would be coming from the bottom of the screen towards the top, heading into the Caribbean Sea, starting tomorrow morning and going into the evening, and then this should pass through the island very fast. They're going to have wind gusts of probably 50, 60 miles an hour, but nothing major to worry about in the island of Martinique. Now, the surrounding islands, the island of Dominica and St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Barbados, they're all going to get similar wind conditions as this races through, but it's going to be very short-lived as the system is racing off to the west around 25 miles an hour. So this will happen very quickly, probably in the very early morning hours tomorrow in the island of Martinique. So let's take a look at the HurTrack program and see where our position of our system will be tomorrow morning. And this is going to be around 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. The wind field, very small, right over the island of Martinique as a 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm moving through there, and then it's going to race off to the west-northwest towards the island of Hispaniola. And the system will run into some upper-level wind shear as the system continues to move towards the Greater Antilles. Now, there is a situation with the wind shear at the 850 millibar levels. I'll get to that in just a minute. Let me go back and switch images here. Here's the current map at Hurricane City showing the cone of air and the forecast track of Tropical Storm Chantal. And you'll see it curves off the east coast and begins to fall apart due to wind shear and land interaction. This is from the map at Hurricane City on the front page. This map can be zoomed in. When you zoom it in, here's what you get. Close-up details of the times and the winds. And not only that, you can get the sea surface temperatures and the wind barbs surrounding the system as it's on the move. So these maps are constantly updated all day long with the current winds and temperatures and everything at the surface. So it's really cool to zoom these maps in. There's a lot of information available. And of course, you can always click on any of these models here, and it'll tell you the specifics of the models, what the wind speed should be as this approaches land wherever you may be. And here we go, going out around the end of the week here, going into the weekend. We have a lot of uncertainty with the cone of air stretching all the way from Florida to the Bahamas. The models are pretty much in agreement. You can see them there. The best performer is the GFS, and that has it maybe closer to Abaco Island and Grand Bahama Island, whereas the Canadian model takes it a little bit closer to the state of Florida. But it's really going to be a moot point unless this thing is able to survive miraculously with the wind shear and the land interaction. There's really not going to be much left of this anyways, but it will be some increased rain for Florida and the Bahamas, especially coming into the weekend. Here are the sea surface temperatures along the track of this thing, and if you follow the model tracks, you can see we're talking temperatures in the low 80s all the way up, and then it gets even warmer in the Bahamas in the low to mid 80s up in there. So not quite at the peak of the hurricane season. If this was late August and September, then we'd have a lot to be concerned about because conditions are just much more favorable, not just with sea surface temperatures, but with the upper level winds being a little more favorable for development later in the season. July systems usually struggle to survive with wind shear. And here is a close-up of the buoy. And again, all these can be found right below the tracking map at Hurricane City. Look at the buoys here in the Caribbean Sea. We're talking 82.8 degrees in the future path swath of Tropical Storm Chantal. So the system has plenty of warm water, but the problem isn't the warm water. It's the upper level winds. Here's the 850, this is the 300 millibar level, which is, right around about 20,000, 22,000 feet up into the atmosphere. And these are the upper level winds that can tear these systems apart. And if you notice right here in the Bahamas, we have wind shear out of the west, and this is going out into the 12th. And there's an upper level low just to the northeast of Chantal. So the winds on the bottom side of that upper level low are going to be unfavorable for development of Chantal by the time it gets into the Bahamas and the Greater Antilles. So we'll keep an eye on this, but this is from the GFS future forecast for upper level winds, 300 millibar level. Not looking favorable for development of Tropical Storm Chantal. Here's a water vapor loop. See this upper level low up here in the Bahamas right now? This is going to get out of the way as Chantal moves towards the Greater Antilles, but then another upper level low is going to be out here northeast of the center of Chantal, causing wind shear, so that's expected to continue, even though this upper level low in the Bahamas will be out of the way at that time. It's an ever-changing atmosphere out there in the Atlantic, and sometimes focusing on a current weather pattern doesn't necessarily extrapolate 3-4 days out, and we could have another upper level low replace this, so that's what we're looking at for the future. In fact, if I switch images once again here, we have the shear maps from the GFS showing that upper level wind area here in the Greater Antilles. This is going out 48 hours to the 10th, and right about that time Chantal will be beginning to butt into these winds here of 20 to 30 knots through the Caribbean and the Greater Antilles. So this is going to be unfavorable for tropical development of Chantal to strengthen any more than a tropical storm, and probably will destroy it once it tangles with the landmass of the Greater Antilles. Anyway, the current feature is the island of Martinique, and the system will be affecting the island of Martinique. In fact, let's pull that live cam shot once again from the island of Martinique, and there it is. It's sunny skies right now, but it'll be changing by the morning. Bad weather. Current feature, Martinique at Hurricane City. You can get all the Twitter feeds, cameras, shots like the one you're looking at right now, radio feeds, all the history from the area, news, everything you need to know from the island of Martinique. And of course, you can always click on the map, the red dots on the tracking map at Hurricane City to pick other areas that you may want to watch. Some surrounding islands like Dominica, Barbados, and St. Lucia and islands surrounding where Chantal is going to be coming ashore. Anyway, this will be the last update on this system unless it really starts to develop in the Caribbean, which is highly unlikely with the wind shear, but we'll keep an eye on it as it moves in the general direction of the southeastern United States, and we'll keep tabs on it and do an update video if necessary. Thank you again for visiting Hurricane City.